It is a little bit more delayed than I wanted to. Let's just say some technical difficulties happen, but we'll get this out as soon as possible. The next month should definitely be at least close to the beginning of the month. But hello, Dr. Death. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing very good. I'm back to my tin can microphone, so I'm perfectly comfortable
Well,
in
don't
my
worry.
old home.
You should have your new one soon. Well, hopefully for next month.
Yes.
But let's just go ahead and just get started with what is our first beta, well, at least of April.
Well, this is a pretty crazy one, but it's a lot of fun, and that is the M18A1 Claymore. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It is a Claymore. It is a training aid in normal civilian hands. You're not allowed to fill it up with any boom powder unless you fill out your proper uh, paperwork. It's by a developer by the name of Remnants, an incredibly talented person. Um, this is going to be a lot of fun for anyone that plays airsoft, for anyone that wants a yard decoration or a bar decoration, something to really catch attention. People are saying they want to make rainbow ones and pink ones and just kind of scatter them around their houses just for fun. Uh, do so at your own risk. Remember that this is very real looking because it is real. And but if you want to fill it up with smoke powder or anything like that, it'd be perfect for simulations, for training, for airsoft, paintball. Uh, it's cool. It's a claymore.
No, yeah, no,
Who
I
doesn't
mean,
want?
oh, exactly. No, I was looking at it too. I mean, I was thinking, maybe step up my surprise party game and fill it up with confetti. But
Oh, sure.
how exactly does it work? Is there a proximity or is it like a special
It's a
detonator?
tripwire.
Okay.
It can be tripwire or it can be. They call it a clacker, and it's an electronic uh, triggering device, and that's also included with the file package, and it is printable, and that has batteries in it, and you squeeze it and make the connection, and that will trigger whatever you have going, a blasting cap or light bulb or
Confetti.
whatever you choose. Yeah.
That's a nice one though. I do. It does look pretty real from the pictures I saw. Might also just be
Oh
really
yeah.
good prints.
Some of these people are incredibly talented, and like I said, I want to make one for behind my bar in my house. I think that it just look cool hanging up on the wall.
No, yeah, I like the one, especially with the olive drab green. Yeah, it looks really nice. But yeah, no,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I guess really that's all you got to say on that one. Really, it's a fun one. Do it at your own discretion, of course. Follow your local laws as well. But
Yes, all local and federal laws should need to be followed.
of course, yeah. So what was the next one we got?
Okay, so we have the DB9 Alloy by DB Firearms, Arthur Caldine. I think that's how I pronounce his name. I'm not sure. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. Uh, and this is a joint project with Aussie, and he basically took the Mac Daddy idea and leveled it up. And what it is it's a Mac Daddy that uses aluminum alloy on the top and sides, where the Mac Daddy platform has traditionally cracked after a while. And what this lets you do is really strengthen the platform. Um, you're not going to be dealing with delamination of layer lines along the top of the upper receiver. You're not going to be dealing with cracking when you're trying to reassemble or assemble the Mac Daddy, because a lot of people, myself included, have done that. And it's a very sad thing because the Mac Daddy is a fairly large print.
Oh
And
yeah,
when
yeah.
you
No, I've done
break
that
one,
so many times. Yeah, no, that is such an easy. If your tolerances aren't right, and you can easily separate the layer lines whenever you try to insert it in the rear end specifically.
yes, yes. And so this gets rid of that whole issue because you're dealing with metal then. And this is going to make the Mac Daddy platform a lot stronger, a lot more durable. Um, I'm going to still recommend a reinforced firing pin, you know,
Well, yeah,
like,
that was going to be my next question: is did they fix the area where the firing pin strikes? Because it is, or the original Mac Daddy was never actually hitting properly in the center of the firing pin. I think, right?
yeah, the original Mac Daddy had two issues. It wasn't hitting quite the same way that the Mac Hammer did, and it also hit a lot harder than the Mac platform. Um, but then sometimes if you use weaker springs, you can have issues where it wouldn't fire because you'd have fail to fires just because you need that extra oomph. Um, the reinforced firing pin, which now a lot of companies are actually including due to the popularity of the Mac Daddy, like VMac, for example, they strengthened their firing pin and came out with like a V2 version of it. I was talking to them on the phone, and I I want to believe that that is because the Mac Daddy is such a popular firearm, and I want to believe that there are just hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of them out there that nobody knows about. But yeah, this it really steps up the game of 3D printing because it's another example of incorporating metal into the 3D print, where you use the 3D printer to get over uh, sort of challenging geometry, things that would be difficult, like mag wells, to make by hand. And then you're incorporating metal into them so that you can really strengthen that 3D print. And I think that that has a lot of potential going forward.
No, yeah, I like it because yeah, metal where metal is needed and plastic where plastic is needed. It definitely looks slimmer. I think like it
It
looks
is, yeah.
much smaller, which is kind of the benefit of just being able to use a little bit of metal.
Yes, yeah. He actually, that's one of the main advantages of this one is that it is the DB9 Slim that is reinforced. So it is a much more compact, much more sleek design.
Yeah, and another thing I'm trying to figure out too is it using Glock mag still, or is it using a different mag?
You know, let me actually check that really quickly.
Is it?
Oh, well, okay. So this is actually very exciting. I am seeing here Glock mags, Scorpion mags, and
Oh,
I do believe there are some Sten mags in here as well.
so it's
So,
okay. So there's three different mags at least.
yes, yes, I am seeing all of those. So, now, as for what ends up in the final release, we'll see what ends up happening. But the idea that you can use Scorpion mags, that's kind of cool. That looks neat. You get that sort of classic SMG look,
Yeah,
as well as with the straight mags.
I'm trying to imagine this with Scorpion mags. I think that would look really cool, and I kind of want it now.
It would look cool. And if we could find a 32 ACP
Mac.
conversion or Mac, yeah, it would be really neat. And there's no reason you couldn't ECM one. Hey, we're doing the 3D printable Mac upper receivers. Maybe we can get a 32 ACP barrel ECM jig going and
Hmm.
go for a DIY.
Well, that could be interesting. Yeah, I would say that's something. But no, yeah, at least looking at this one too. I guess one other thing that I should ask is so the metal, that metal part, that alloy. I'm guessing that's custom made. So is there any plans for who's gonna sell it, or is there ways to make it yourself? You have your own CNC.
I know he is selling it in partnership with someone. Uh, I do not know actually who it is. And I do know that there are going to be options, yes, to do it yourself and cut it out of your own sheet metal because everything you want everything ideally to be DIY as with the backup option of being able to purchase it.
Right. No.
So
Yeah, that's what I would think. Because yeah, no, I mean, it looks really cool in all honesty, and I'm just wondering if I know there's some people that would probably just want to be able to DIY it themselves if given the option.
yes, does DB Firearms, does he have a shop?
I
I
think he
almost feel
does.
like he does have one.
I think he
Yeah,
does.
so I'm going to go out and on a limb and say that he's selling them. Something else that's pretty cool is it also accepts the MPA 5.7 upper, so you can have a 5.7
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of cool.
SMG if you want.
Increase that or increase the cost by a significant. Okay.
Yeah, but everybody likes PDW.
Right. It's the MP or is it
No,
P90 at
likes
home? Yeah. I also will notice too. So there's no, I guess, little top rail thing for like, or that printed top rail for if you don't have a top rail on your Mac, I guess.
No, there's not. At least not yet. This is still in beta. That's a really good suggestion,
I
actually.
mean, well, I would. It only really makes sense if you're using one of like the original like top charging. Max, because most, I mean, it makes way more sense to use the metal rail attached to the Mac upper if it's a side charger.
Yes,
But that's only
yes.
for like, the side charger one. If you have a top charging one, you can't really put an optic there.
No, no, exactly. But no, the suggestion of adding a little bit of a pick rail or have an adapter for the back, if we ever get pistol braces back, an adapter for the pistol brace that you can put a pick rail on. Those are great suggestions, and that's another reason that the betas are so important, is because cool ideas like that should come to the forefront, and that's a great update to the design.
No, yeah, I mean, I think it looks cleaner without it, but I do know that some people still have top charging Mac Daddies, which I
Yes,
mean, I wonder how many people still actually have those anymore. I feel like those were a lot of the older buyback ones, and then now
I
all
mean
the new
me,
ones.
but
Yeah, a lot of the newer ones are just side charging ones. If
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like a what is it?
Honestly, side charging upper works a lot better with the platform. I mean, that's coming from personal experience.
And plus, you can attach an optic to it.
Exactly, and that takes a Mac to the next level. Honestly, the optic, because the weakest point of the Mac platform was always the sights
I believe
because
it.
they're terrible.
They
But
function for what they need to be, like up close and personal. I think that's
mhm,
mostly it though for the Mac though. I guess,
yes,
unless you want
yeah.
unless there's anything else you want to say.
No, no. I think that it's a really cool design. I think it's a very strong design, and I think that it is showing a very interesting direction for 3D printing, where more and more metal is being incorporated.
Yeah, and it's going to make a much stronger design. I'm happy to see it. But
Yes.
I guess let's go on to the next one. What do we got next?
All right. So we have the Polykopf by Sparqua, uh, and that is a 3D printable bump helmet. And so this isn't going to be a bulletproof helmet, but something that's very important and that not a lot of people understand is that so-called bulletproof helmets aren't really bulletproof. They're designed mostly for shrapnel or glancing shots. They might stop a 9 millimeter, but a rifle round's going to sail straight through that. And so what the Polykopf is that it's a very lightweight head protection helmet that's going to keep you if you're going through a doorway, or if you trip and fall, or if you get knocked on your back, or if you get smacked in the face with something. Well, not so much the face, but the top of the head with something. It's going to protect you. Um, think like a skating helmet. But the neat thing is that it's got provisions to mount night vision on it. So when you combine that with the 3D printable night vision options that are out there, and the ones like we have in beta right now by Sector, uh, that makes a very affordable option for someone who wants to protect their head from any bumps or falls or things like that, and wants to mount night vision.
No, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, also another thing too is even if your helmet could stop rifle rounds, God help you though with the impact force is probably going to kill you.
Your neck,
Yeah,
yeah, your neck's not gonna survive
you
that too
might
well.
be able. Yeah, there might not be any like penetration, but yeah, you're gonna totally break your neck. I
Yeah,
I would say that's another thing is if you're wearing nice plates or something, you should, yeah, you might not get penetration, but you'll get knocked down, and it'd be a sad way to go out is by hitting your head too hard against the floor, despite not having any
exactly.
entry wounds. So bump
Yeah,
helmets are very nice in that regard. I can,
yes.
I mean, I can't imagine. Actually, be very funny to see someone like mound quads on one of these just to see how well the
It would
retention
be
is.
beautiful.
I don't have the
Yes,
money for quads, but if someone does, that would be a funny thing to do. But something I do
yes.
like about it is, you can also attach comms, it looks like, because they're side mounts.
Yep,
That would be kind of
yes.
convenient, I would say. And then, yeah, I know I'm imagining it's not too expensive to make either. Um, I'm guessing you probably need to buy the padding on your own.
Yes, yes.
I can't imagine this
But
being too expensive. It really, yeah, as
it's
long as
a very affordable option.
it's probably be fine for a bump helmet. Yeah, I'm wondering how light it is.
It's fairly lightweight. I mean, that's all going to depend on your filament choice and your infill density, but it's going to be fairly light. In PLA plus, it's going to provide protection from bumps, and you know they are looking right now in the beta about different options to increase its ballistic effectiveness, but nothing officially has come out as far as, you know, the testing with various materials and treatments and coverings to increase survivability. But either way, it's a very cheap tactical helmet that if someone wants to get involved, or if you want to just have a bunch of them, you know, fire up the 3D printer and you can pump these things out.
No, yeah, I guess, the only competition would be, is it better than an airsoft helmet? Which I would hope, airsoft helmets can be hit or miss in all honesty.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
some of them can actually be shockingly really good, and other of them can just be, the typical garbage you kind of expect.
Exactly. The advantage with this one is that you're making it, you're going to know how it holds up, and you can customize it to your liking.
It would be kind of cool to put your printed night vision on a printed helmet as well and go full out.
Yeah, you can become the PLA Terminator.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, that would be kind of fun. I might want to try that. I actually might want to print one of these out. That seems like a fun idea. I guess there really isn't much else to add to the helmet. I mean, it looks. Yeah, I like it. I like more printed accessories too, because it also opens the door to people that necessarily don't want to build a gun first, but want to try something else. I think that'd be a fun little project.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
But I guess, yeah. What do we got next?
Okay, we have the Dummy Kugel 1911 sight. And basically, what this is it's a pair of grips that have a horseshoe pattern on the top, and I sent you a picture of it. And it's got a Picatinny rail so that you can run optics on just a basic bog standard 1911. So if you've got a super cheap,
Oh my god! Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow! All right.
So that Rock Island Armory 1911, that thing's not obsolete. You can run the same optics as any of those Glock boys, not feel bad for a minute.
Oh my! Wow! All right. This is that is incredible. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So that is Yeah, that's a good way to describing it. That's a grip that attaches the Picatinny rail to the site. Oh my god! I kind of want to take this on a competition now.
Do it.
Like a
Do
CMOS, I guess. Like that's what they usually do. This would be a way of doing that too.
Yeah, you got to run a huge optic on it too, because that's the advantage here. You don't have to worry about slowing down your slides. So you put like a Sig Romeo 7 on it or something,
or yeah,
or a 3x9 scope.
Yeah,
something like that.
A nice little LPVO, that'd be kind of fun. But okay, yeah. So I'm guessing this wouldn't work with Freeman's boomer frame because I think that one doesn't have.
No. Freeman is in the beta though, so we'll see what craziness he cooks up with it. But
I mean, maybe he could attach it to his frame, but that would be too.
Might be too far.
I think it's a fun idea, but wow.
I like it. I like the 1911.
I like it too.
I think they're a neat gun.
No, yeah, the trigger is fantastic. 45 ACP has all the stopping power anyone would ever need. Well, the only stopping power someone should need. But this is it's a fun way of being able to add optics to your grandpa's gun, I guess.
Well, the thing is too is that if you want to hunt with a 1911, this actually is a relatively viable option for giving your 1911 an optic.
I mean, yeah. God forbid an RMR cut. This way you can keep some of the original beauty remaining.
Exactly. You can just pop this thing on and off as you need it.
I honestly I'm amazed with someone that did this. I have to kudos to them. This is a great design.
I love it.
I wouldn't actually. I don't know what's more cursed, Ivan's 3011 or this, but I would say they're both pretty close in this regard. I don't know what else to add to that. Whoever did this, you're a genius.
Thank you, Dummy Kugel.
Yeah, good job, Dummy Kugel. It's great. But yeah, I don't know what else to. Might as well go the full ridiculous route and just add maybe a bottom pick rail too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so
for
you
sure.
can attach you could attach a optic and a light directly from the crypts. I think that would be
Now, once again, personally, I would like it if it gave a provision for a pistol brace, if we get those back. But,
oh
and then you end up with like just a really cool little carbine type thing.
like a Swiss Army knife for in 1911. I would be
Exactly.
who would have ever thought the grips could be that useful? But I I want to see where that goes. Yeah, let's go to the next one though.
Okay, so next we have the Mjolnir by Atmac. And that is a printable receiver for a pump action Turkish shotgun. And it actually fits a couple different ones. I've printed one. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately, my trigger group didn't quite match up with the holes that he had for the trigger group. So I
Turkish
provided him
quality.
with the feedback and then he adjusted it. I like the Turkish shotguns. And if you're building a shotgun, you're going to smooth it out anyway and know how it goes. So,
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, I mean, like Turkish shotguns, they're not good. Don't let anyone tell you they are good, but I guess, if you want to get a little bit into gunsmithing, you'll probably learn how to polish things up, sand some edges to make things fit properly. Not typical gun owners don't want to do this, but I guess if you're kind of already into DIY, it's not asking too much to, fix, the breech face, maybe clean up the chamber. Turkish shotguns.
Pump it really hard about 300 times. You'll get it.
Well, yeah, you'll polish it out then. Turkish shotguns are the only ones where I've seen like pump actions to like have failures to feed and like extraction issues. Like pump action shotguns should not be having these problems. But hey, the Turks found a way to do it. Turkish exceptionalism.
They did. I like the Turkish guns. I hope the Turkish build a Spaz 12 someday.
I
and I will
wouldn't be
buy it in a heartbeat.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. You should be sure to put Turkish ammo to it too, so maybe you might be able to really get the full.
I'm not
Turkish...
that crazy.
No, yeah.
I'm not that.
No. You seen the video where the Turkish ammo blew up like a M14, right?
Yeah. I'm not so sure about the Turkish ammo. I run very crappy ammo, but I mean Filipino ammo is about the lowest I go.
That's not too bad. But okay, so it's a Turkish shotgun. What? Which clone is this based off of? I guess.
The funny thing is that it's about 5 different shotguns. The one that I have is a Tokarev Arms pump action shotgun. And I like mine because it came with a heat shield and was nickel plated and has interchangeable chokes, even though it's only an 18-inch barrel. So I think it's cool. But
I mean,
yeah, it's about 5 different ones. He has a list of all the compatible kits. I will say that the kits are really cheap. I got mine for like $60. So if you want to have a fun project, you could probably get it even cheaper. Like I said, I sprung for the nickel plated kit. It's a very affordable pump action shotgun. It's versatile. I dare to say that if I could only own one gun, it would be a 12 gauge pump action. Because I think you can do pretty much anything with them. So this is a nice one that Uncle Sam won't know about that you can have available to you.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna buy a Turkish shotgun, this is like the best excuse to do it, make it a fun little project of love. But
I want one of the Turkish 1911s too.
I would never go that far. I almost did one of those, but no,
they're like $350. I gotta know.
Same here. I almost bought a Turkish Beretta M9, but I was told those ones are like a special level of abhorrent.
I am buying one of those. I will get one of the gold-plated engraved 92s.
It was like $200, which I was like, that's far too cheap for me to like buy a brand new M9. And it's like, yeah, it's because it's Turkish.
Katz is working on making them work with his frame.
That tells me a lot that they are not. That says exactly what I thought. But
it's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. But yeah, no, I would say for a Turkish shotgun, I mean, if you're already into this hobby, you're probably used to doing, fixing up some guns. So you're buying a Turkish shotgun. Don't get any illusions that this is just going to function properly. Even if it were a
Yeah.
normal gun with a serial number you're buying, it's a Turkish shotgun still. So expect the lowest possible quality. Probably in that case, this actually might fix it up a bit. I bet, because now
It very well may.
you'll have documentation with probably all the issues that you would encounter with a normal Turkish shotgun to begin with. So it really
That is
can't be
true.
much worse than a Turkish shotgun. So if anything, yeah, if you want a fun little project, I bet you could probably get, with enough work, I bet you can probably make a Turkish shotgun into something pretty good. So I guess that's probably all I got to say on it. Do you have anything else?
Oh, just that if you're like me and you're bored of reliable guns because you have so many of them, go with some of the sketchy stuff. It's fun.
I mean, that's one way of describing Turkish shotguns. But yeah, no, I would say that's actually cheap enough too, where I actually kind of want to do it myself. I bet I could probably fix a Turkish shotgun if I put enough effort into it.
It's a project and it's fun, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
cheap.
yeah. That's another thing is I guess it's cheap parts kit. Really, yeah. Who's buying Turkish parts kits? So I bet they have to sell them for cheap. So let's hopefully you could pick those up while they're nice and next to nothing.
Exactly. It's the price of a bar tab. So,
Yeah, it's a good point. So I guess yeah, let's go on to the next one then.
okay, this is actually our last one. And this is a pretty neat one. It is the 22 ECM Barrel Liner. And that is by Immortal Revolt, the guy behind the Partisan 9. And it is a 22 LR barrel liner that you can just make at home through ECM in a bucket of salt water. And that's going to pair really well with our Yeet 22 semi-auto pistol, which is getting pretty close to release. They're making huge advancements with that thing. And so what this is going to basically do is when combined with the Yeet 22, it's going to make it that anyone in the world can have a reliable 22 LR semi-auto pistol. And you're not going to be messing with smooth bore. You're not going to be messing with a printed barrel that's only going to last maybe 10 rounds. You're going to have a factory quality 22 LR concealable pistol.
Now that
And
yeah,
yeah,
no,
go ahead.
I was gonna say no. That's actually pretty interesting. So my only question is, so I know is it for like the 9mm ECM? It has to be a bit smaller of a diameter.
Yes.
Because it's 22. I'm guessing yeah, it doesn't need to be the strongest of all metals. It just needs to be able to handle 22 pressures. Is it
Yeah.
you know it would be I feel like it'd be kind of overkill to use the same type of steel that you got from at least the like a 9mm one.
It
How
is going to be explosion proof hydraulic tubing. And the reason for that is that we want to make sure that it is strong and that it's also very versatile. Uh, it uses 8mm outside diameter or 5/16 inch outside diameter tubing.
okay, well there that answers
And
my next
part of
thing.
that,
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, is it
yeah,
also imperial too? But there we go. Go ahead.
yes. So it gives you some options. I'm looking at the pictures of it, which I can send to you, and the quality of the printed barrel is very impressive. Uh, it doesn't have to be that thick. It doesn't have to be overbuilt because it is 22 LR. And so what this is one of the big advantages of 22 LR is that you can reload, or I should say, rearm nail blanks.
Yep.
And that makes it very viable in lots of places around the world.
I'm gonna ask, has it been tested with blanks?
The barrel liner has not yet. It's very new beta. It's in our V3 ECM beta. Actually, it's just part of it. We rolled it into it. Um, the Yeet 22 has been tested with blanks, and it has performed quite well.
Well, that's nice to hear. Yeah, I would
Yes.
say because another issue too is with barrel liners. The barrel liners are usually rifle too, right?
Yes, that's what it is. It's a thin steel barrel that is rifled, and you slide it into a sleeve.
Okay.
An outside sleeve. So, in the case of like Lorson, the sleeve was Zamak. In the case of the 22 or the Yeet 22, the sleeve is going to be PLA,
Okay.
PLA plus, and you're going to just slide it in there. And what that allows you to do is it makes it that you've got just as strong of a barrel as a traditional steel firearm, but you can use the 3D printer, or in the case of the Lorsons or something, a casting process to cheapen the geometry and make it a lot easier to mount and create a slide that's going to easily function.
Yeah, okay. Because, I mean, for me, I'm trying to think about the ECM process. So you can also make the chamber as well. I mean, I'm just.
Yes.
That, I feel like the 22. I feel like a 22 ECM would probably be significantly easier.
Yeah, you're going to be able to make these pretty darn quick,
Yeah, I'm
and
just
they're
thinking
going
about
to
it.
be
Very quick, and then plus also, God forbid, is you kind of mess up enough. It's 22. As long as it's the right
exactly.
diameter, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're not going to be. You're not gonna. It's not like a 9 millimeter cartridge or a rifle cartridge going off. Where there's significantly more powder and significantly higher pressures. This is a very mild pop, I guess you would say.
Right.
Um, and that's not saying don't be careful. Please, please be careful. Don't kill yourselves with it.
Right. No, yeah, of
Um,
course.
but yeah, it's going to be a very good way to get into ECM also if you're uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm just trying to think about it too. Isn't 22 almost like a uniform like chamber as well? Like,
Yes.
so I mean,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, you could just go directly straight to rifling, couldn't you? Or I guess a little.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now, and it's a very simple process. This is going to be a very easy way and a very effective way to get into ECM,
I
and
might
I
just do
think that
that.
people are
Yeah.
going to really like it.
I might just join it just because it seems like I could easily do that. And I'm wondering, can I just start using that ECM liner for, a lot of the other products as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that this is going to be tremendously useful for a ton of different projects.
I guess, do we know how
Because
much the
you can
metal cost? Oh,
it's going to be cheap. I don't have precise costs, because those do change,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not going to be any more expensive than making an FGC9 barrel. In fact, I would very much say it's going to be a lot cheaper because you're dealing with much smaller tubing. So it's probably also going to be a lot easier to find in some places of the world.
I think I might try that one. Might join that beta because that seems like kind of a easy enough project to do where, I mean, I already have everything sort of set up anyways. It'd be kind of fun to do another ECM project.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and when you look at these pictures, there's not much to it. It's a nice small project.
No, yeah, and again, it's 22, so really the risks aren't that great. Obviously, there are still risks, so always, take a level of caution.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think about this myself of like, how long can you get the tubing to? You can maybe, if you really wanted to do like a 16-inch barrel one, I bet it probably wouldn't be that hard either. And I don't really know how
No.
much barrel liners usually cost for 22, at least 16-inch ones as well.
They went up. They went up actually quite a bit. You used to be able to get them for at the cheapest they were maybe 25-30 dollars. Now they're more like 60 and up. At least last time I looked.
Because I'm assuming you can buy these in like, a bigger distance, probably like 300 millimeters or something. Like
Yes. Yeah.
a little bit like around like
I
20
think
inches.
yeah. So the whole advantage with this is that right now it's just starting out, and so it's more of pistol length. But as the process gets nailed down, we can stretch that, just like we did with the 9 millimeter ECM to make the Stingray, which has been working fantastically. And I saw them popping up in Myanmar, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That was kind of fun. But yeah, this is definitely something I'm interested in, especially because, yeah, the Yeet 22 is one of the more interesting ones if it's a 22 that you can kind of a fully DIY 22. And this I
Yes,
think makes it significantly more viable in that regard of now you can also make your own liner as well.
exactly.
This I think opens the door for a lot of things as well. Of you can also now, I guess, at some point maybe a lot of the CMMG kits that people have, we could probably start incorporating into those as well because that makes it. I mean, if you have the barrel, you might as well.
Yeah, this is going to open up the possibilities and the opportunities for a lot of completely DIY 22 LR uh, pistols, rifles, SMGs. I mean, the sky's the limit, really. And with 22, the engineering is going to be a lot easier, and you're going to be able to have a lot more printable parts. You know, uh, I
Really,
think that people often underestimate 22 LR. Well, yeah, there's no reason that you couldn't have. I mean, look at the Zip 22s. It's a bad example because it didn't really work, but it can be made to work with the right engineering. And that thing was completely polymer, including the bolt.
right?
So if
Yeah,
somebody actually bothered to pay attention to weights and maybe have steel inserts for weight in a printed bolt, you could make some very interesting little weapons.
I would
You
say
know,
I feel like a big complaint people have with certain the designs is that they're all basically requiring parts. Well, if you can get the barrel now done for this, really all we would kind of need to do this is either someone needs to figure out a good way to make like a 1022 printed bolt clone, or maybe a CMMG bolt. I think someone was working on a
yes,
22 CMMG bolt clone.
somebody
And
was. I don't know whatever happened to them.
I don't know either. I'm assuming it's a little bit harder than it just looks, but as
Yeah,
long as until someone can create a good printable bolt for 22 stuff, then and we are very close to being able to have a fully DIY 22, which might not sound like much, but a lot of people outside the US in particular I think use 22.
this is part of the Yeet 22 project now.
I would
But
assume so, yeah. That would be
yeah,
I might want to build one of those once actually I might want to try it at some point soon because it seems like a very quick ECM project to do, really. And maybe
yes.
I would say for a lot of people outside the US, this is probably a good thing. I mean, people in the
Oh,
US,
it's going to be
yeah,
yes,
I think people should be looking at this, and that now we're getting closer to a fully DIY 22 as well. Of it's kind of, I guess,
yes.
9mm is a little bit more common, but at least here in the US. But yeah, I'm surprised we haven't really had a fully DIY 22 like this either yet.
It gets overlooked because people think of the 22 as being more of a toy. But I've seen 22 like when you butcher cows, you just shoot them once in the head with a 22 and they drop, and that's 1,000 pound cow. They're a very deadly little bullet. They are proportionally the most deadly bullet to size.
Huh. Well, I know they have also the most confirmed kills or something like that. When the 22 enters
Yeah,
the body, it bounces around and destroys all the insides, if I remember correctly.
my dad actually believes that, and I don't have the heart to tell him that it's not true.
I know a lot of people that believe it, and I try my best to avoid saying the truth. But alas, I guess yeah, that's one of the most. I like this design a lot, and I think I'll probably try it, get or see if I can get in that beta. But I guess
Absolutely. Well, get a hold of me. I
yeah,
think I
no,
know a guy who's in charge of the betas.
I'll look into the. I think I know a guy too, but I will. Yes, that's really it so far. I guess maybe we can talk about the ECM project whenever they add something else or when it releases. But
Yeah, absolutely.
this, I think, is a nice little update to it, and we'll be probably catching up again soon, anyways, for later.
Oh, for sure. Always new things coming out.
Right, so this will be a little bit late, but thanks for stopping by. I guess see you in I guess a couple more weeks, but
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me again.
yeah, it was nice talking to you, and see you guys later.
Goodbye.